Have you ever wondered or asked yourself, what's my purpose in life? Over 6 immersive days at Date with Destiny, Tony Robbins can help you find that answer, providing you tools to reshape your destiny and design the life of your dreams. Date with Destiny is Tony's favorite event, and it's the one you might have seen in that Netflix documentary, I Am Not Your Guru. Here's what happens, though, over those 6 days. You start out by gaining a deep understanding of what truly motivates you. Then you identify the triggers that create pain and pleasure in your life, and learn the strategies to eliminate pain for good. Finally, you'll learn how to ignite or reignite your passion to achieve your ultimate vision of your life, career, finances, health, and relationships. As Tony says, it is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. This is your chance to make the ultimate breakthrough and to start living the life you desire and deserve. To learn more about Date with Destiny, visit www.tonyrobbins.com/destiny. Why do we have a tendency to hold on to the past? Why do we continue to let the most painful experiences in our lives not only influence, but control our future? And what would life look like if we were able to let go of the past, to shed those stories we carry with us and move forward in a way that's untethered to that pain? Welcome back to the Tony Robbins Podcast. I'm your host, Annie Yorg. In this episode of our Real Breakthrough series, we're diving into a particularly sensitive subject: letting go of past trauma. Some of you out there may have endured unspeakable trauma in your life. But as horrific as these experiences were, you might continue to hold on to them, even fervently, because letting go can be absolutely terrifying. But holding on to them has profound consequences all on their own. When you do that, you continue to give that pain power over you. You keep those cords of energy tied to the people that hurt you. You might even let those terrible experiences become part of your identity. In this episode, you're going to hear from Jolin. This is a woman who has endured tremendous trauma in her past. For years, decades even, she allowed that pain to dictate her life. She lived in a story of hurt, and she suffered massively because of it. But by working with Tony, she was able to step outside of that pain and gain a new level of understanding and perspective. And in a single moment, she broke through to the other side. She was able to let go, find forgiveness, and choose a life of love and appreciation. I hope you enjoy this episode.
My name is Jolin. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
From Fort Worth, Texas! For those of you not from America, Texas is its own country. It's just in case you know that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So what insight did you get? What did you remember? And what did you discover was getting in the way? And what are you willing to do to change it?
So I had a breakthrough,
She
y'all.
had a breakthrough! What was your breakthrough?
Well, these are really happy tears, by the way, but...
These are happy tears.
Okay. Okay, so I realized that... Can I give a little bit of a backstory?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Now, gentlemen, if this is a meta report, let me just tell you how these meta reports work. Ladies, you are going to continue to give them forever. Gentlemen, the problem is you get stressed out because you think you're supposed to remember all this shit. She doesn't give a shit if you remember all this stuff. Just be present with her as it happens, and she'll feel good when she's done. Go ahead.
Thank you. So...
However, for the ladies in the room, if your man is willing to take in this meta report, which really normally stresses them out, it would be really useful to try to keep them to a limit of about 3 minutes. And you can pack as much as you want in, because after that, there's no RAM left, right? So.
Okay. All right. So when I was 14, I was gang raped.
Wow.
At a high school party by seniors in high school. And they still live in the community that I live in, and I still live there.
Wow.
And, you know, it was a story that I was addicted to it, admittedly. And when I went to UPW in November 2016, it was the first time I actually talked about the event out loud to anybody, but still in my soul, it was my identity.
And just because help everyone here, what needs, because see, it really did happen. This is not bullshit, right? But some people take a horrific experience and they let it control the rest of their life, and they don't do it just because it's painful. They do it because it meets many of their needs. The greatest addiction in our life, and by the way, I'd kill these motherfuckers if I could, so I'm not making what they did even slightly right. But if she's still in pain, it's not because of what's happened there. It's because she keeps replaying it in her own mind. There's not one cell in her body that was around back then. Every month you replace all the skin on your hands, all the skin, all the internal parts of your stomach. Every 2 years, every atom in your body is changed. There is not, what you're living right now is your 2018 version. Your 2016 version or before does not exist. Not true. Other people have breathed in those particles and now it's part of them. That's a fact. There's not a single atom in your body today that was here 2 years ago. So nothing that's happened to you is part of you except by replaying it in your head. And the reason we replay it is not just because it's painful, but as you've done, and I gotta honor you right now before you go any further, there are very few humans on earth could do what she's done right here. Yeah, give it up for her. So what I started to ask her is, the biggest addiction on earth is not cocaine, it is not heroin, it's not opiates, it's not pot, it's not food, it's not alcohol, it's problems. Because problems give us a reason to justify that we are enough even though we don't seem to be. That we are worthy of love even though they don't seem to be. It's not my fault. It's that I have ADHD. It's that I was raped. And by the way, somebody may say something, it's true. But that's not why you're in pain right now. You're in pain right now because you keep playing it. I wouldn't want to rent space those in my mind ever again. She's managed to do that, but the only way she could do that is if she could figure out how her problem was meeting her needs. Most people's problem is a way to get significance without risk. Because if you get significance normally, you have to take risks. You have to try to risk doing something so you can achieve something, so you can achieve some level of significance in your life or your business or your finances or within yourself, so that you feel like you might be enough to be worthy of the love. But most people, that's scary as because what if it doesn't work? So what's a lot faster than building the tallest building in town, blowing up everybody else's building? Or having a big enough problem you can say, it's not my fault, it's because of that. The truth is, if you say, I'm so fearful in relationships because I was hurt before, everybody's been hurt before at different levels. You're just using that as the excuse because we're all fearful. You got to do it anyway. It's like the other day when the young man was on stage and he said, I'm still feeling some fear. And what did I do? I just pushed him forward. This is what you do. When you feel fear, I dive into the fear. I don't back off. I storm through it. Because what you're going to find is most of what you fear is an illusion. You're more than anything that could ever happen to you. You're more than anything anyone could try to do to you. You are spirit, you are soul. But your mind will use it to hang on to meet your needs if you let it. That's why you get what you tolerate in life. And if you tolerate this kind of pain, you'll have it ongoing. So what needs were you meeting? And then I want you to continue with your story, but you're doing something so valuable. You're going to free some other people by your example, because most people would never dream they could overcome what you've been through, especially in the same community. So what needs were you meeting? And then please continue with your story.
Significance and certainty.
Yeah, how were you getting significance and certainty? By hanging on to the story. True story, but hanging on to it, reliving it, keeping it.
Because I actually felt like the story was making me unique and special.
Give her a hand for that. It's amazing. And how are you getting certainty? By hanging on to it.
Because I knew I would be in pain if I could just take myself back to that moment, and I could find I had certain link to pain, like I knew I could experience whenever I wanted to.
In other words, it was her emotional what? She knew it. Even though she didn't like it, she knew it. And so we go for what is comfortable, even if comfort is discomfort. It sounds illogical, but when it's all you know for so many years, you go there until you don't.
It was also certain that I would always have an excuse for failing.
Give her a hand. That's amazing, honestly. Give her a hand. That's incredible. And by the way, no one could tell her that because she would just be angry. She could only have that kind of self-honesty with herself. And that's how she starts to free herself. Please continue.
So I've really, since UPW, and I vocalized it, and I received love, and people who I realized I wasn't a monster. I realized I was still loved, and that was beautiful.
Yes.
And
beyond true.
Yes. So I realized that my suffering was maybe for this.
Maybe what?
Maybe for this, I don't know, or to share. I've made it my life's work to overcome it.
Yes.
But my breakthrough was that. So I've overcome it. I had a spiral.
She's overcome it, ladies and gentlemen, for God's sakes.
Yeah. But it's one thing overcoming something, but then being able to tell it from a place of joy.
Yes.
Right? Not from that, I'm just like free, you know? It's like, I know, because I know it was a gift.
Give it up to her.
But my real breakthrough on the relationships is that I've overcome it by overachieving in business. I'm in everything except for with my husband.
Yes.
Because my husband's love is abundant and it's not scarce, and I know he's going to love me no matter what, but for me, sex was about controlling or being controlled. And so if I wasn't controlling the moment, then I assumed I was being controlled, as no matter how tender it was or not, because I would replay that in my head that you talked about a couple days ago.
Yes.
I was like, why? I've worked so hard to get to here. You know, like, this is the glory that God has for me.
That is correct. Give it up for that. That's incredible.
And so I realized that I've changed my story everywhere else, but not here. And I realized that I need to change my story. So my story now is that, yes, I was raped when I was 14. I was gang raped by 4. Yes, I found it in my heart and soul through God's grace to give them the same grace and forgive them. I've overcome everything in my life that I've created a business. I'm a platinum partner. I'm talking to Tony Robbins. But I've also found a way to still experience real inner beauty in making love with my husband.
That's beautiful.
Because God sent him. He sent him to love me. And all I'm doing is bringing that in bed. And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't need that. He's there. He's just love. And when instead of going into those lovemaking with fear and who's going to be on top, just love and receive the love and trust it and know that that's God's love for me coming through him. And yeah.
Is he here?
No. He's in Texas taking care of the kids.
Okay.
I'm excited to go home now.
Yes. Give it up.
The Tony Robbins Podcast is directed and hosted by Tony Robbins. Anna York is our editorial director and occasional host. Our executive producer is Carrie Song. Jamie Carvajal and Adriel De La Torre are our digital editors. Special thanks to Mary Buckheit and Diane Adcock for their creative review.